The 1990s is a decade full of big names and iconic moments, from the collapse of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union to the threat of the millennium bug. It was packed full of successes, failures, the weird and wonderful, as well as being overflowing with great players, goals, games and moments. This is the Regista South American 11 of the 1990s.
We start this lineup, of course, between the sticks, with one of the more unpredictable players of this, or indeed any decade. Jose Luis Chilavert was an attack-first minded keeper, famed for his lethal set pieces, scoring over 50 career goals, many of which came from free kicks. Winning 12 club titles, including the 1994 Copa Libertadores with Vélez Sarsfield. Eccentric and temperamental, the man known as El Bulldog was never far from controversy on the field, even brawling with Colombian striker Faustino Asprilla in 1997.
The 90s saw some shocking rises in the music industry, from the cringe-worthy lyrics of the Spice Girls to the melancholic sounds of grunge and the reinvention of gangster rap under the stewardship of Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. Controversy was never too far from the charts. Keeping controversy and everything else at bay is our three-man backline, starting with Brazilian star Aldair.
A Serie A and World Cup winning centre-back, he began his career with Flamengo before moving to Benfica in 1989, ensuring he'd start a decade in Europe. A 13-year stay in Roma would follow, where he'd make over 300 appearances. So successful was his time in the Italian capital, the club retired his number 6 jersey and inducted him into their Hall of Fame. The number has since been reinstated, but the man known as Pluto by Roma fans is still widely respected by the Giallorossi. Offered the captain's armband in 1998, Aldair refused the honour, instead insisting the captaincy be given to 22-year-old Francesco Totti. Alongside Aldair, and anchoring our backline is Oscar Ruggieri, a no-nonsense defender who featured in back-to-back World Cup finals for Argentina. El Cabezon, or the big-headed one in English, had a career littered with silverware, his trophy cabinet boasting winners' medals from Argentina, Spain and Mexico, as well as having 2 successes in the Copa America. He was a record appearance maker for the Albiceleste, turning out for the national team 97 times before his record fell to Diego Simeone. Ruggieri proved to have an abundance of intestinal fortitude by crossing the Great Divide and doing the unthinkable when he ditched the blue and gold of Boca for the red and white of arch-rivals River Plate. Rounding out our defensive unit is Andres Escobar, a man whose tragic demise often overshadows his calm and measured displays, both for his beloved Colombia and Atletico Nacional, having 2 spells at the latter sandwiching an all-too brief foray into the European game, which limited to just 8 appearances for young boys in Switzerland. A winner of the 1989 Copa Libertadores at Atletico Nacional, helping them become the first Colombian side to achieve the feat, and making 51 senior appearances for the national team, scoring the only goal of his career in a 1-1 draw against England. In line to make a move to AC Milan following the 1994 World Cup, an opportunity he sadly wouldn't get to fulfil, the man known as El Caballero del Football, or a gentleman of football, is widely remembered, especially in his homeland, where the Andres Escobar project was launched in his honour, with the aim of helping disadvantaged kids to learn football, a very fitting tribute.
The 90s was the decade which transformed home entertainment. The advent of cable television and the World Wide Web changed how we consumed content, granting more options than ever before up until that point. Long-running series such as The Simpsons and South Park garnered large audiences. Japanese anime flooded the Western market, and pro wrestling was must-see TV on a weekly basis. But it was video games which changed the entertainment landscape, with Sony's PlayStation becoming a household name. Its success has been so vast, it's even led to one of the biggest debates of our time. PES or FIFA? Let us know which series you prefer in the comments below.
Shielding our defence and adding a bit of steel to our midfield is Dunga, World Cup winning captain of Brazil in 1994. Whilst his nickname is derived from the Portuguese translation of Dopey, his record is anything but. One of only 2 players to have played in the finals of a World Cup, Olympics, Confederations Cup and the Continental Championship. The only other player to achieve it is Spanish midfield maestro Xavi. Individual honours include being selected in the FIFA World Cup All-Star team in both 1994 and 1998, a J-League MVP award in 1997 and 91 caps for the Seleção. After retiring, Dunga turned to management, having 2 spells in charge of the national team, leading them to victories in the 2007 Copa America and the 2009 Confederations Cup. Alongside Dunga is Fernando Redondo, an Argentine midfielder who fused creativity with his predominantly defensive role. Winner of the 1993 Copa America and with over 160 appearances for Real Madrid, being signed for Los Blancos by fellow Argentine Jorge Valdano. Excelling under Vicente del Bosque, He claimed 2 La Ligas and 2 Champions League titles. His performance in the 1999-2000 edition of the tournament saw him named the competition's MVP and was voted UEFA Club Footballer of the Year. Nicknamed El Príncipe, the Prince, he was voted into Marca's best foreign 11 at Real Madrid, and 4 years later he was voted into the club's all-time 11. His most famous performance came in the Champions League quarter-final against Man United, laying so much sauce on Henning Berg, Alex Ferguson questioned if he played with magnets in his boots. Bringing vision and playmaking into the heart of midfield is Carlos Valderrama, El Pibe, the Kid. Despite wearing the number 10 shirt, he preferred dropping deeper to increase his influence in matches and lay on assists for his teammates. His distribution and ability to play a through ball often meant he was dictating the tempo. Retiring in 2004, Valderrama was the only Colombian selected in FIFA's 125 top living players list. Voted Colombia's Player of the Century and South American Footballer of the Year in 1987 and 1993, his trophy cabinet is stuffed full of MVP awards. His unique look and big blonde afro landed him on the cover of Konami's International Superstar Soccer, a precursor for Pro Evo. Briefly venturing into coaching, he became assistant manager of Atletico Junior, cementing his place in this list by waving cash in the face of an official he accused of corruption. The next member of our midfield shouldn't need an introduction. Enzo Francescoli was widely considered to be one of the best number 10s of his generation, and was the only Uruguayan selected by Pelé in the FIFA 100 list. His career featured 2 extremely successful spells at River Plate, winning the Copa Libertadores upon his return in the mid-90s. Winner of 5 Premier Divisions, the French First Division and a myriad of individual accolades, Francescoli represented Uruguay at 2 World Cups and is cited as a huge influence on French icon Zinedine Zidane. So much so, Zizi named one of his sons Enzo in homage to Il Principe. The final member of our midfield was selected by you, the viewers, in our most recent poll on Twitter. Juan Sebastian Veron is the second generation of one of the most prominent dynasties in Argentine football, following in the footsteps of his father, Juan Ramon Veron. A Copa Libertadores winner and club legend at Estudiantes, and one of the highest profile names of football in the 90s, having spells at Sampdoria, Parma and Lazio, before a British record transfer took his talents to Old Trafford. La Bruja made the Argentina squad for both 98 and 2002 World Cups. A versatile ball-playing presence in the middle of the park, capable of playing both as an attack midfielder or a deep-line playmaker, known for his powerful shots with both feet.
Rounding out the 11 are our 2 strikers, a couple of goal-scoring fiends who could sink a defence faster than the 1997 box office hit Titanic.
First up, Gabriel Batistuta, one of the most prolific finishers of the 1990s. Spells at Newell's Old Boys, River Plate and Boca Juniors preceded his iconic stint at Fiorentina, where Batigol made over 250 appearances and scored over 160 times. Top scorer for La Viola in Serie A and a member of the Hall of Fame at both Fiorentina and Roma, where he won the Serie A title. He also claimed 2 Copa America titles in 1991 and 1993, top scoring in both 91 and 95. Diego Maradona showered Batistuta with praise, calling him the best striker he'd ever seen, with devastating marksman having a statue in the world-famous Recoleta district of Buenos Aires, sharing centre stage with national legends Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi. Partnering Batistuta is Chilean legend Ivan Zamorano, also known as Bam Bam, playing in 4 Copa America tournaments and a 1998 World Cup for La Roja, collecting 69 caps and bagging 34 goals. At club level, he was lethal, having spells at Sevilla, Real Madrid and Inter Milan. It was at Inter where he was controversially forced to give up the number 9 shirt, adopting the now iconic 1+8 shirt. A winner of La Liga and Copa del Rey titles in Spain and the UEFA Cup in Milan, as well as claiming the top goal scorer in La Liga in the 1994-1995 season.
This has been Regista's All South American 11 of the 1990s. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe for more great content just like this.